Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, gentlemen, for your testimony. And Undersecretary Coase, we are seeing a lot of activity in Rhode Island. In fact, we recently had a call from the Secretary Buttigieg informing us we received $251 million for a large bridge grant, which will access 15 high-need bridges along Route 195. So it's Route 95. So, and we're also seeing people working and working at very, very good wages. So this is, I think, a good program for middle American workers and also for overdue infrastructure. And our infrastructure was way overdue. Could you tell us how generally how this project is improving infrastructure all throughout the country?
Thank you, Senator. You're absolutely right. We just this past month announced one of our big bridge improvement program that is actually addressing some of the critical needs that we're seeing in bridges across the country that are in state of good repair. We believe these investments would not have happened without the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law. And these investments are not only allowing us to hire workers from neighborhoods, but also allowing us to ensure freight resiliency and also allowing everyday Americans to ensure that they can get home safely. We're also seeing that private sector are also looking at other projects working in tandem with local governments. For example, we are very close to doing a major groundbreaking with the Bright Line West high-speed rail, which again would not have happened without the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law. So those are just two examples of how working in tandem, these investments are really being transformative in communities.
And all of this work makes transportation more efficient, I presume. And second, it also is matched many times by private development, either directly in the project or very near the project, since the highways are opened up and it's more flexibility and more opportunity. Is that accurate?
That is absolutely true. As noted, in addition to the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law, we're seeing major investments through the CHIPS program, where we're seeing major private sector investments for new chip manufacturing, as well as EV manufacturing locating near these new improved infrastructure assets.
And Ms. Kinsley, how is this helping workers in the industry?
Senator Reid, workers are benefiting from all the legislation over the past couple of years that have came out of Washington. When you look at infrastructure, that's a little bit longer term maybe than what you would see with an EV plant or even the CHIPS side. But what you're creating in a time when demographics are working against all of us, and including the construction industry, it's created generational change for generational careers for young people. And I don't think they've seen that type of optimism come out for quite some time. I can't overstate the fact, and it was in my final comments, that the good policies come out of D.C. create great outcomes in every local community. It just does. Whether you're putting from the transportation side, new blacktop coming down, or for a long-term 30-plus generational career at a chips manufacturing plant, we anticipate our growth in the state of Ohio, even factoring in attrition with retirements and deaths, to move from 100,000 men and women that put a hard hat on and work in union construction every day in Ohio to somewhere between 115 and 125,000 over the next generation for this.
Thank you. And Secretary Coase, I could not leave here without mentioning the Washington Bridge, which I'm sure you've heard of, a section of 195 that goes between Providence and East Providence, essentially the metropolitan area of Providence. The eastward bound bridge collapsed, or had to be closed before it would collapse. And we are seeking any support for efforts to repair it. But it brings up the question of the mega grant program and also the large bridge grant program. And they have been helping states really in a significant way. We hope it'll help Rhode Island eventually. But can you comment on the role these programs have played?
Senator, first, I want to acknowledge, yes, we are aware of the application and we'll definitely give it a due consideration. And again, we'll continue to provide technical assistance to the project sponsor as we go through this process. But you're absolutely right to call out that the MEGA program specifically, as well as a number of our major discretionary grants, allows us to move major complex projects faster. If we did not have these resources, many of these projects would take more time, which means they will cost more money, but more important, the benefits, whether it's reducing air pollution, greater accessibility, again, safety, whether it's from the freight corridors, but also to passengers, would not happen. That's why these investments are so critical today.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.